Hello YouTube, welcome back to the video. We're going to read Paul before the Sanhedrin. I know this is a bit in chapter 22, but when we get started I don't want to stop, so let's get into it. Paul before the Sanhedrin. The commander went to find out exactly why Paul was being accused by the Jews. So the next day he released him and ordered the chief priests and all the members of the Sanhedrin to assemble. Then he brought Paul and handed him to spin before them. Chapter 23 now. Paul looked straight at the Sanhedrin and said, "My brothers, I have fulfilled my duty to God in all conscience to this day." At this, the high priest Ananias ordered those standing near Paul to strike him on the mouth. Then Paul said to him, "God will strike you, you witness, you whitewashed wall. You sit there to judge me according to law, yet you yourself violate the law by commanding that I be struck." Those who were standing near Paul said, Why dare you insult God's high priest?" Paul replied, "Brothers, I did not realize that he was a high priest, for it is written, 'Do not speak evil about the ruler of your people.'" Then Paul, knowing that some of them were Sadducees and others Pharisees, called out in the Sanhedrin, "My brothers, I am a Pharisee, descended from Pharisees. I stand on trial because of the hope of the resurrection of the dead." When he said this, a dispute broke out between the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and the assembly was divided. The Sadducees say there was no resurrection, and that there are neither angels nor spirits, but the Pharisees believed all these things. There was a great uproar, and some of the teachers of the law who were Pharisees stood and argued vigorously. "We find nothing wrong with this man," they said. "What if a spirit or an angel had spoken to him?" The dispute became so violent that the commander was afraid that Paul would be torn to pieces by them. He ordered the troops to go down and take him away from them by force and bring him into the barracks. The following night the Lord stood near Paul and said, "Take courage, as you have testified about me in Jerusalem, so you might also testify in Rome." The plot to kill Paul. The next morning, some Jews formed a conspiracy and bound themselves with an oath not to eat or drink until they killed Paul. More than 40 men were involved in this plot. They went to the chief priests and the elders and said, "We have taken our solemn oath not to eat anything until we have killed Paul. Now then, you and the Sanhedrin petition the commander to bring him before you on the pretext of wanting more accurate information about this case. We are ready to kill him before he gets here." But as soon as Paul's sister heard of this plot, he went into the barracks and told Paul. Then Paul called on one of the centurions and said, "Take this young man to the commander. He has spoken something to tell me." So he took him to the commander. The centurion said, "Paul, the prisoner sent for me and asked me to bring his young man to you because he has something to tell you." Then the commander took the young man by the hand, drew him aside, and asked, "What is it you want to tell me?" He said, "Some Jews have agreed to ask you to bring Paul before the Sanhedrin tomorrow on the pretext of wanting more accurate information about him. Don't give in to them, because more than 40 of them are waiting in ambush for him. They have taken an oath not to eat or drink until they have killed him. They are ready now, waiting for your consent to their request." The commander dismissed the young man with the warning, "Don't tell anyone that you have repeated this to me." Paul transferred to Caesarea. Then he called on two assistants and ordered them, "Get ready, a detachment of 200 soldiers, 70 horsemen, and 200 spearmen to go to Caesarea at 9 tonight. Provide horses for Paul so that he might be taken safely to Governor Felix." He wrote a letter as follows: "Claudius Lies, to his Excellency Governor Felix. Greetings. This man was seized by the Jews, and they were about to kill him. But I came with my troops and rescued him, for I have learned that he is a Roman citizen. I want to know why they are accusing him, so I brought him to their Sanhedrin. I found that the accurate information had to do with questions about the law, but there was no charge against him that deserved death or imprisonment. When I was informed a plot to be carried out against men, I sent him to you at once. I also ordered his accusers to present you to their case against him. So the soldiers, carrying out their orders, took Paul with them during the night and brought them as far as Antipatris. The next day they lay at the cavern, go on with him while they returned to the barracks. When the cavalry arrived in Caesarea, they delivered the letter to the governor and handed Paul over to him. The governor read the letter and asked what province he was from. Learning that he was from Cilicia, he said, I will hear your case when your accusers get here. Then he ordered that Paul be kept under guard in Herod's palace. The word of the Lord be the Lord. Thanks be the Lord. Hope you have a great day. See you tomorrow.